to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Introducing from Atlantic City, New Jersey, weighing in at 210 pounds, your Italian hero, Joey Image!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 12 of the That Image Guy podcast. I am your host, That Image Guy, Joey Image, and apparently today is National Podcast Day. I have never heard of this. Actually, it's International Podcast Day, so hopefully people in other countries are listening to this. I don't really have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so what I'm doing is streaming this live right now via Periscope, periscope.tv/JoeyImage. And what we're going to do is, because I don't really know what to talk about. I mean, I can talk about my what I did over the weekend or the previous weekend, which was really busy, whatever, but I think today I'm just going to do sort of a Q&A and have anyone that's on Periscope that's in the stream. There's a little chat, a little chat scrolls by in Periscope. As long as I see the question, because if after, I think it's 5 seconds, the thing shows on screen for 5 seconds or 6 seconds or whatever, the messages people are typing. After that, it disappears and then it's gone. You can't scroll back and see it. The only way to see it is to watch the replay later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to the Periscope viewers. There's only 12 people in there right now, which is not much, but I can get a half hour out of one question if I really squeeze it good, because I love to talk. So I'm going to turn this over to Periscope. Anybody in Periscope watching that wants to talk about anything or give me a topic or whatever that we can discuss. Again, this is episode 12. I want to thank everyone for subscribing and downloading for the previous 11 episodes. It's been a blast so far. The last episode started on kind of a shitty note with the passing of Fat Frank Idavia from Jersey All Pro Wrestling. So I want to start this one off on a better note, and let's go to the Periscope right now. 13 people, so somebody else joined since I last talked. And just for the Periscope people watching, if you don't see me looking at the screen, then you obviously, I'm not going to see your message. The first one is from Greg. What are your thoughts on Black Ops 3? I haven't even played it. There was a beta for it, which I was in. Someone sent me a free beta code for Black Ops 3 on PS4. And, he sent me the beta code, and then, like, 10 or 15 minutes later, he said, I just realized that the beta actually ends tonight. And I wasn't home. It may have ended on like a Sunday night or a Monday. It ended on Sunday. They extended it to Monday. But this guy sent me it on like Monday morning, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, I won't be home until Tuesday morning because I'm away right now, away for the weekend, but I'll check it out then. And then he was like, oh, yeah, it's not going to actually work. It actually expires tonight. And I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't help me out. So, long story short, never got to play it, but I think I pre-ordered it already on Amazon. I have like 4 games pre-ordered on Amazon. So, I mean, it's really hard to remember. I have a horrendous memory anyway. Neo, favorite match I've worked. Jesus, how the hell do you answer that? That's a 15-year question. My chip is not as not as quick to process data as it once was. Favorite match I've worked. I want to say Just Incredible. I don't know if I have an actual favorite, but there's definitely like a top 5 or top 10. But I could say one of my top favorites is me against Just Incredible in 2005. I think it was September 10th, 2005 in Freeland, Pennsylvania for RPWF. The reason that was one of my favorites is because I loved ECW when I was a kid. Not when I was a kid, but when I was younger, before I got into the business. I loved ECW. Just Incredible, Steve Corino, Simon Diamond. Those were Sandman, of course. Taz. Those were a couple of my favorites. Steve Corino and Simon Diamond actually had a hand in my training. But let me see. Danny Doring also. Dawn Marie, who was with Simon Diamond at the time. But those guys, those guys, had a hand in my training. But because I loved ECW so much, when I got the opportunity to wrestle Just Incredible, who was one of the last, I don't remember who actually was the last, but one of the last ECW champions. In fact, my favorite ECW pay-per-view was Massacre on 34th Street, which was in December of 2000, like a month before they kind of went away, to put it nicely. So, when I got the chance to wrestle an ECW guy that, again, was one of my favorites before I actually started training, I was, like, thrilled. I was like, man, this is the coolest thing ever. Because, and we had a good match. We had a real good match. And he was happy with it. I was happy with it. I was nervous as shit, of course, because it was just incredible. But he was happy with it, and he told me afterwards, man, it was really good, blah, blah, blah. I had a good time. Thank you, blah. So that told me that, like, I could hang with an ECW dude. So, for me as a young wrestler at the time, I compare it to this past weekend when this past Friday when TJ Marconi wrestled Kevin Nash. And that was, like, his guy growing up, and he, like, idolized Kevin Nash. Still does, still loves him to this day. Is there something in my eyebrow? What the hell is that? And he got to wrestle him, and he was like, man, like, I saw him Saturday night at Park Ridge Pro, and he was like, I was like, as soon as he walked in, I go, hey, man, how was it last night? He's like, man, it was awesome just being there in the ring with him. So, a guy getting to wrestle his idol, not that Just Incredible was my idol, but again, he was one of my favorites. So, to be in there with a guy that I thought so highly of, and that came back and then respected me in return, it was one of my favorite moments. We didn't have a 5-star classic, but we had a real good match. Crowd loved it. Crowd popped for it. I thought it was great. And again, showed me that I can hang with an ECW guy. And I guess a WWE guy. I mean, he was WWE before he was ECW. I mean, I don't know if that really means much. He obviously was a lot more skilled, a lot better skilled than when I wrestled him than he was as Aldo Montoya in WWE. But you know what I mean. I hope that answers Neo's question. What else we got? Nick wants to know, what's my favorite thing to do as a kid? What is? Well, I'm not a kid anymore, so it would be what was. What's my favorite thing to do as a kid? I don't know. Eat dirt. I mean, I guess that explains a lot. My favorite thing to do as a kid was probably wrestle, actually. I never did quote-unquote backyard wrestling, but right down the street from my house, 100 yards maybe from my house, is the high school that I graduated from. And there's a gate on the end of my street. The gate goes into or a fence gate, whatever. It goes into where the football field is. And on that football field, they have gym mats, and they're 4 foot, I think, or 5 foot. So they're super thick and real soft. They're used for pole vaulting and stuff like that in gym class or whatever. So me and my buddies used to go there and wrestle. They have 4 on the ends. It's so cool because on the ends they have the 4 corners. You can lay them out flat or you can fold them up. So we would fold them up, and those would be our 4 turnbuckles. I guess I don't really consider it backyard, but I don't know. We never actually hit each other because we didn't want to get beat up. But we would like jump off the thing or whatever. Our 4 corners, we would jump off of there and elbow drop each other or whatever, stuff like that. Wouldn't do it hard, and we would barely hit each other. But we were up there all the time. Me and like my buddy Jason and John West was up there, and Doc, who used to live around the corner. And even Doug Busson would come up sometimes. Just like me and like 5 or 6 guys from the neighborhood would just go up there and wrestle. Sometimes we recorded it like on tape. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what we did. I don't remember ever going back and listening to that stuff. But yeah, that was awesome, man. So I always had some kind of wrestling love in my blood, I guess. What else we got? I saw a couple of things. Favorite video game console. I think right now it's my PS4. But of all time, probably either either NES or Super Nintendo. It's got to be NES or Super Nintendo. I almost said N64, but I don't play it enough, and I never really had a ton of games for it. But NES, I had 15 million thousand games, and same thing with Super NES. I have to say probably original Nintendo. That wasn't my first console, but that's definitely one of my favorites. I started off with like ColecoVision and Odyssey and Intellivision, and then from there I went to Atari 2600, which I had every game for, which it was amazing. My sister at the time, her boyfriend, when I was a kid, when I had Atari 2600, was this rich guy, John, who lived in town here, and he would buy every game that came out just because it came out. Like, he didn't care if it sucked or not. He would buy it. If it sucked, he didn't play it. That's all. He had enough money where he didn't matter. He had fuck you money. So what he would do was just buy every game that came out. If it sucked, he didn't play it. If he liked it, he played it. And then when they split up, he gave me all of his games, which was every game that came out up to that point. So I thought it was awesome. So Atari was basically where I really got kind of dug my hands into video gaming, but probably definitely original NES would be my favorite. I saw something about where would I go on my dream vacation. Dream vacation would probably, I want to say like London. Like, I've never been to London, but I don't know about, I've never been, I shouldn't say that, obviously I've never been to London, but I've never been like to England or London or anything like that, so I don't really know if it would be like a dream vacation. It would be a dream visit. I mean, to me, a vacation would be like an island where I can hang out for a week and, you know, just get drunk and party with my girlfriend or whoever. Probably London, I guess. I mean, London is like a city to me, and like cities don't seem like vacation spots to me. Like I don't know anyone that goes to Manhattan to go on vacation for a week, but but I mean, you get my drift. But London is definitely a place I've always wanted to visit. I was actually two times now. I was supposed to be booked in England, Scotland, and Wales. One was going to be in Luton, London. One was in London. I don't remember where in Scotland and Wales. And I first time I couldn't go because I didn't have a passport. And the first tour that I was asked to work on was 2011. I didn't have a passport, and I didn't go because, well, not only did I not have a passport, but I wouldn't have had my passport in time for when the tour started, so I couldn't go anyway, and I just never got the passport. And then the second time I was asked was 2013, and I had already broken my neck and got hurt, so I was already out of wrestling by then. So I didn't go then either. But those were two very disappointing situations for me where I couldn't go. Anthony, favorite video game other than World of Warcraft? Grand Theft Auto. I think almost the whole series. I haven't played every game in the whole series, but my favorite GTA is probably Vice City, if not the new GTA 5 or newest GTA 5, which I play online almost 2-3 times a week. It used to be like nightly, but then I just got into like the podcasting thing and YouTube videos and all that stuff, and just kind of my time diminished rapidly. So now I've only got maybe 2 or 3 nights a week to play. But Vice City is like my favorite still. Favorite GTA game other than WoW and GTA. I'm trying to look right now to see what else I got. I don't even play all that much except for those, really. I don't play anything else that I even can think of. I mean, a little bit of Call of Duty, The Last of Us, stuff like that. But as far as favorites, definitely Warcraft and Grand Theft Auto. Have I done any more Busted for Autism events or charity events like the one I met you at in Kate? That was from Rachel, by the way. There was a second Busted for Autism event this past July. I was not invited. I was not booked. But that's because it wasn't run by them. I did speak to the woman that ran the first one, and she explained it wasn't run by them, so the booking and stuff wasn't really up to them, which I'm cool with. I didn't even know about it until a week before. But I do a ton of charity stuff. I do a lot of like Toys for Tots related stuff, and I do that. There's a charity in Pennsylvania called Walk for Autism, which I don't understand the title because I've never done a walk for autism, but a lot of wrestling shows I've done that were for charity and like Toys for Tots and things like that. So yeah, I still do a lot of that stuff when I can. I mean, it's tougher to do it now because I'm not wrestling anymore. I'm still behind the scenes. I'm still in the business, but I just can't do in-ring wrestling anymore due to my neck and back. But yeah, I do when I can. What else we got? Come on, give me some shiz to talk about, and I will talk about it. Right. Kathy, favorite TV show of all time? Man, that's a hard one. Of all time? How do I answer that? Of all time. Favorite TV show of all time. Sopranos number one. Actually, this is an easy one. Sopranos number one, Breaking Bad number two. I don't know if I have to go. Good talking, man. All right, see you, Greg. Yeah, Sopranos number one, Breaking Bad number two. I don't think I have a number three. Maybe Mr. Robot or Better Call Saul. But definitely my top two are Sopranos number one, Breaking Bad number two. So anyway, let me just say while I'm waiting for another question or whatever that I very much appreciate the Periscope thing. I tried to record a show the other night. Actually, tried to broadcast a show on Periscope Saturday night for Park Ridge Pro Wrestling here in Jersey, in Park Ridge, about 4 miles from my house. And apparently Periscope was having issues where they streamed video no problem, but there was no audio. It was just silent. And I didn't know this. And I streamed the first half of the show. The stream actually froze. I don't know if it was the app well, I guess it was the app that froze now that I think about it, because once I closed it out, everything else worked fine. So I Googled Periscope bug just to see if there was something wrong, because people in the stream were saying, hey, there's no sound. And I Googled it, and it turns out there was a problem, which I wish I had known about, because they actually fixed it during the second half of the show. The update went live on Saturday night, and now it works great, apparently, because I've got a Periscope chat going right now, and people are hearing me, but it would have been great if that worked Saturday night. But anyway, you can follow that company at Park Ridge Pro on Twitter and Periscope, and I will be likely streaming all their shows. So, all right, let's go back to Periscope. I saw a couple things scroll by, but like I said, they I think it's 5 seconds, and they go away, and you can't scroll back. So, whoever sent me, a comment or whatever, send it back. Favorite show as a kid. I'm assuming TV show. As a kid. He-Man, G.I. Joe. Probably He-Man was my favorite. He-Man and G.I. Joe, actually, I still love. As far as, animated. But, regular, live-action TV show, I was a big Fresh Prince fan. Which is kind of weird, but, yeah, I'd say He-Man and G.I. Joe. Favorite guy in the business today? Impossible to answer that. Production guy, referee, bell ringer, ring announcer, wrestler, manager, valet, promoter. There's no way to answer that. Me too, love He-Man. Yeah, I still do. Actually, I just got a new He-Man shirt yesterday. Not yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, Monday. If you go to tfury.com, they have shirts. I think they're $20 or whatever like that. And it's like a campaign they do for a week or something, or for 30 days or whatever the time limit is. And they'll say, it costs this much this much to make. If we fund that much money, we'll ship the shirts out. If not, they just don't do it. So I participated in a couple of those. The first one was a Skeletor shirt, coincidentally enough. And then yesterday I got a He-Man shirt. Favorite wrestler in the business today? I'm assuming you mean as a fan watching wrestling. I mean, it's so hard to answer it, because it's hard for me to look at wrestling as a fan, because for 15 years I've been programmed to not look at it as a fan. I've been programmed to look for specific things from specific people and see specific things happening or not happening. So it's so hard to look at it that way. I would have to say probably John Cena, as far as just a guy. As far as wrestler or wrestling ability, I love watching Cesaro. I love watching Kevin Steen, El Generico. But as far as a person, personally as a person, Cena. Cena puts the business on the map every single week on TV, regardless of how many people claim to hate him. They still watch him, and they still chant when he's out there. But as long as you're making noise, that's what matters. So John Cena is probably a favorite for greedy reasons. Yeah, because again, he makes the world aware of wrestling. He's clearly the Hulk Hogan of the current era. in the sense that he's almost become a household name. He lets the world know that wrestling still exists and it's still on TV every week. So yeah, so it's because of him that people even come to our shows. His influence on fans watching the show, watching the events, kind of trickles down to the as low as the independents, down that far, just so and it brings more people in. Favorite sport, professional wrestling. I only watch wrestling and baseball, and I'm not even really a big baseball guy anymore. Like, I gotta be honest, I was a hardcore baseball fan until the strike in 95 or 96, whatever it was. Once that was resolved, I really, really lost my love for it. I'll still watch, and I'm still a Mets fan, and I just went to a game last Saturday. Excuse me, but I just don't have the passion for it anymore. I think it bothered me a lot, even being 17, 18 as I was at the time, and guys that were making like $7-8 million a year were like, I'm on strike, I'm not going to work. Fuck you, man. Jesus Christmas. I understand there's factors behind it, but, $7 million in 1 year is plenty. So there's no reason to not work. I don't know. If what you do, if you love the game, if you love the sport you're playing, go out there and do it. But if you do, if you do that, it just seems like you're only in it for the money, and that's really not the right reason. All right, what else we got? I saw a couple of other things that I missed. I wish there was a way on Periscope to scroll back through the chat or the messages, but unfortunately, the only way to do that is to go back and watch the replay of your own stream, and at that point, it's not live no more. So, man, this is really... how did I hear about Anarchy Pro if you're in Jersey? Because you sent me an invite. Well, location doesn't really matter, man. We have the internet now. And again, I've been in the business for over 15 years now. December 19th will be 16 years since I first stepped foot in a wrestling ring. In a training center. But yeah, man, we have the internet. So it's easy to hear about everything. The beard is weird. It's not really weird. It's just gray. I don't see what's weird about it. It's your average everyday beard. I just need to for men this. Favorite gadget? Probably my iPhone 6s Plus. I usually get the new iPhones every time they come out. When I had my 5S and the 6 and 6 Plus were announced, I told myself I am going to get the 6 because I love it. And it's great. And I think at the time, I don't remember what the reason was, but for some reason, I changed my mind when the pre-orders came out, and I got the 6 Plus, which is the bigger one, the 5.5 inch, or 5.5 inch, sorry. So I got the 6 Plus, and then when I got it, I kind of played around with it and thought, like, man, this is way too big for me. Like, I don't like it because I can't use it with one hand. Like, while I'm talking to somebody, it's hard for me to just take it out and type something with one hand, or like respond to a text or whatever, while I still have while I'm still focused on talking to this person or whatever. That's just an example. But with the 6, it's not much bigger than the 5S I had previously, so it's a lot easier. I've actually used the 6 before. It's much easier to do stuff one-handed. But my problem was I'm such a freaking iPhone geek. I always have to either have them the day they come out, or at least do the pre-order the day that they're available. So that's what I did. And then I kind of regretted it later. Man, I really wish I would have got the smaller phone. Just more convenient. So when they announced the 6S Plus and the 6S, I told myself, you know what? I'm just going to get the 6S because it's the smaller phone, just like last time. Smaller phone, easier to use. So I planned on getting the smaller one, but I never actually did. And then again, when they announced the new ones, I got the 6S Plus as well. But it was a good idea this time because I already have 8 or 9 iPhone cases that are all made for the 5.5 inch phone. So had I bought the 4.7, I would have had to have bought at least another case. Not a big deal, but big enough for me where I already spent however much money on all the cases I have, which is probably spent $2 or $3 on 9 cases. So again, not a big deal, but I'm just a cheap bastard. I wouldn't want to spend another $1 or $2 on new cases for a smaller phone. All right, so that's my iPhone talk. Any gadgets I want that I don't have? Nothing real. I mean, I'd like to get a real camcorder, maybe. I just use my iPhone for recording and stuff like that. I mean, I have a webcam too. It's an HD 1080p webcam I use for some of my unboxing videos, but for my iPhone, I've got a tripod and a little bracket. I've got an iPhone, or it's a mobile phone bracket, so it fits an iPhone, a Samsung phone, whatever. So I've got that. I do that for I use that for a lot of videos as well. But sometimes I'm just too lazy to set all that up, and then I have a double shoe bracket, which is basically a flat bracket. It's got 2 screws on it, 1 screw to put whatever, 1 screw to put the camera on, or the camera bracket again, which holds the thing. So when I put the 2 things on there, I've got a light on one side. So sometimes I'm just too lazy to set all that up, and I just use my webcam, and I've got the natural light coming from the window in front of me. But I guess that's really the only thing I can think of. I'd like to get products. As far as products I would like to get that I don't yet have, was probably like a real camcorder. I know you've whatever that said about testing products. Type it again because I missed it. Do I have any pets? I do not, but I will have a beagle named Buddy in a few months. Selfie stick, yay or nay? I own 2 of them. I don't use them. They were sent to me as for review items. One of them did not work, and one of them works great. Although, again, I don't use them. Why did you order the Plus? I just explained that. I don't know if you were in the thing, but I literally just talked about that. I ordered the 6 Plus last time, and it was I thought it was too big, but over the year that I had it, I acquired 9 iPhone cases. So rather than having to go buy other cases for a new phone, I got the current 6 Plus S, which is the same size. Would I ever try homemade hot sauce? I don't do hot sauce regardless, homemade or not. I'm not a hot sauce guy. I'm not a spice guy. I basically got the second 6 Plus, the 6S Plus. I basically got that because it's the same size as the previous 6 Plus. So I already have a bunch of cases and accessories for it. So, I figured why switch. There was another couple things that scrolled by that I missed. But let me see what else we got going on here. How do I feel with the current WWE product? Favorite type of candy and best announcer ever. I'm going to read them all now so I can hopefully remember them. Current WWE product, not terrible. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it's definitely increasing in popularity, I would say. I think the business is not necessarily at a boom period right now, but it feels like it's getting there. I think the best thing on WWE television right now is NXT. If you're not watching NXT, you're missing out. You're missing out big time because NXT is more than just developmental at this point. It's its own entity. It's almost an independent company. It just happens to be owned by WWE and run by a WWE guy. So yeah, I think they're doing great. I mean, current WWE product is real good. All right, what was the next thing? I'm sorry, I missed a couple things. Have a hard time watching Raw these days. Nothing interesting going on really. Everything with Kevin Steen is interesting. The Cesaro stuff is interesting. The New Day stuff is interesting. Favorite superhero, He-Man. Yep, He-Man. There's a ton of interesting stuff going on Raw. The Cena, what do you call it? The U.S. Challenge thing. That's super interesting because you don't know who they're going to book to come out and do the match of that night. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on Raw. There's a lot more interesting stuff going on at NXT. But there's a lot of interesting stuff going on Raw. I don't watch SmackDown, so I can't really speak on that. I haven't watched SmackDown in probably 2-3 years. Favorite Ninja Turtle. Never cared about the Ninja Turtles. I like the Ninja Turtle video games, like the NES game. Remember the big arcade game that had like 4 or 5, obviously had 4 joysticks on it because there's 4 turtles. I used to love that, but as far as the characters themselves, I never really cared. I don't know what it is, just didn't interest me. I guess, I hate to say, like, the idea of 4 turtles, like, that eat pizza and fight crime was always, like, silly to me, but I loved He-Man. The guy that ran around in a loincloth, and giant biceps. Never saw him in the gym, but he had biceps the size of a Buick. I never understood that part, but whatever. Never didn't have to make sense. I guess parts of it didn't have to make sense to me. I ignored the stuff that was silly, and paid attention to the stuff that was cool, and just pretended that the rest of it didn't exist. Favorite pizza topping, either pepperoni or bacon, or pepperoni bacon together. She-Ra, she was hot. Secret of the Sword is one of my favorite animated movies. When they found out they were brother and sister. And I'm going to jump back to the pizza thing. I love bacon, I love pepperoni, and I love them together. I don't really love Domino's pizza because I just feel like it's not really pizza to me, as opposed to like a mom and pop pizza shop. But I love pepperoni bacon pan pizza from Domino's. That's really good. So even if you don't like Domino's, the pan pizza stuff is good. Or deep dish. They call it deep dish, but it's the same thing. But yeah, She-Ra was awesome. The Secret of the Sword was one of my favorite animated movies where He-Man and She-Ra found out they were brother and sister. I still watch that. I still have it. I think it might be on my Plex server. But that's good stuff. As well as G.I. Joe the movie. I still watch that too. I have that on DVD. Mom and Pops or Pizza. Pizza Hut's good. There used to be one 3 or 4 miles from here. They closed it down. Now I don't have any in my area. There was one about 3 miles from here on like the main road in my town. And then there's another one 7 or 8 miles down on the highway, which, interesting tidbit, the first autograph session I ever did as a professional wrestler was at that Pizza Hut in Paramus, New Jersey on Route 17. It was myself, Superfly Snuka, and Johnny Thunder. And we were all working for CWF at the time. And now that Pizza Hut's gone, it's now a Shake Shack. But I love the stuffed crust. That's a great idea. And I haven't tried that, like, have that little hot dog, pigs in a blanket crust or something. I don't really understand it. I've seen a picture of it. I didn't really figure it out. I've never tried that either, but there's not any around me now, so it's tough to get to. There's still a few in Jersey. I know where they are, but nothing close enough to me to warrant, going to get it. Thoughts on Snuka? Good dude, crazy guy. Been on a lot of shows with him, and each time he introduces himself, which tells me that there's something going on upstairs where he doesn't really remember a lot. Favorite burger toppings? Swiss cheese and bacon. I love bacon Swiss burgers, man. And if you go to a diner in Jersey, that's where they're the best. New Jersey is known for its diners. In fact, I just had a conversation on Periscope a couple hours ago with another guy from New Jersey about diners. And the thing is, like, New Jersey diners are not what they once were, man. The food quality's gone down because the food costs have gotten so expensive to buy stuff, buy ingredients or whatever. It's gotten a lot more expensive in the food and agriculture industry. So a lot of the quality's gone down because people are buying cheaper food right now, which kind of really sucks. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to stay in business. But a lot of diners have closed, and a lot of them are no longer open 24 hours a day, which is kind of depressing. But definitely bacon Swiss burger. Favorite band / musician? Judas Priest. Number 1 favorite band of all time. I love Rob Halford. Please excuse my language, but I've been called a fag because Rob Halford's gay, and I love him. I don't give a shit. He's my favorite, dude. My first tattoo was Judas Priest. It's their logo with, at the time, my favorite song was A Touch of Evil off the Painkiller album that came out in 1990. So, at the time, that was my favorite song is when I got my first tattoo also. So I've got the Judas Priest logo, and I've got A Touch of Evil is tattooed around it. So that's my favorite. There's a picture of it on my Facebook, that tattoo. But Judas Priest is my favorite band. I don't really have like a number. Like, I have a top 5. Judas Priest is number 1. The other 4 are not in any specific order. But it's Judas Priest, Pantera, The Misfits, Metallica, and I don't even have a 5th, I guess. Maybe I only have a top 4. Metallica, Misfits, Pantera, Priest, and I don't know. I think I only have a top 4. How many tattoos do I have? 13 right now. Either 13 or 11. I've been asked this a million times, and I forget, but I know it's either 13 or 11. I know that it's two. I can just count them right now, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11. I got my last one in 2006, which is so depressing because I'm so ready for another one. My girlfriend just got 2 in like the same month or like within like a 6-week period. But I'm so ready for another one. Do I listen to Jericho's band? Yeah, I've seen Fozzy live. They're awesome. I was front row at they played a bar called Dingbats here in Jersey, about 10 minutes away in Clifton, New Jersey. Dude's pretty soft. Looks like Groove going man. Rick. Yeah, they're awesome. Mother has 27 tattoos. Cool. Yeah, I've only got 11. I've got a couple of things. I want to get a wrestling related tattoo to kind of commemorate my love for the business and my love for the sport and my 15 years as an active wrestler in it. And now that I'm still in it, but I'm only doing behind the scenes stuff. The problem is I have no idea what to get. There was one point where I wanted to get something like a steel chair with a pair of wrestling boots next to it, something like that. But IB Green has that, and I don't want to get anything that somebody else already has. Thailand, Christ. Angel went to Thailand and got tattooed. So, I want to get something wrestling related, but I have no idea what. I have no idea. I kind of like, I don't know. I don't even know what the word is. Brainstorm, I guess. I don't know. But I kind of bounce ideas off my girlfriend a lot. Like, I'll tell her, like, hey, I want to get a wrestling related tattoo. Like, but does this make sense? And then she'll say, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll say, yeah, blah, blah. So my girlfriend and I have talks about this a lot, and I just don't know what I want. Like I don't want to get the chair thing because IB Green's already got it, and not that it's him, it's anybody. I don't want to get anything that other people already have. So, broken table won't really make sense because it doesn't. It's got nothing to do with me. If I was Bubba Ray Dudley or Devon retired, I would get something with a broken table because they're the table guys. But somehow I want to get something that like reflects me. I don't know. So I don't know what. And I think about like maybe like some kind of weapon or something like that. But again, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I didn't really have like a niche. I just had like I was just a pissed off heel for 15 years. That's it. I was just pissed off. So I don't know. Get one with you, Neil. I don't want to get one of myself. That's kind of weird. Like Sandman's already got his face. Oops, sorry. I just bumped the microphone arm. But like Sandman's already got his face under his arm, so when he lifts his head, you're seeing him and him, which is odd. And I saw a couple things scroll by, but I didn't get to see them because again, if you type something, it goes away in 5 seconds, so I missed it. So I don't know. I'll get something. I have no idea what to get, but I'll get something. Anthony, what's your favorite Italian restaurant to eat at? Favorite Italian restaurant? That one's difficult. My girlfriend and I went to some place called, I think it was called Nina's a few months ago. It might have been for my birthday. I think it was called Nina's by her house somewhere. That place was great. I don't know. That's really hard to. I'm not into like chain. I'm not really big like I'm not an Olive Garden guy. Sorry if you can hear that. By the way, there's a chainsaw right outside my window. Like I'm not a big Olive Garden guy. My parents love that place. Macaroni Grill is great. I like that place a lot. But there's a lot of places that my girlfriend takes me to that I think are awesome that I just don't remember. But a lot of them are not chain or like one location and that's it. Like I kind of like that stuff. I think it's more personal that way. It's more intimate. You get like a better selection as well because you're not getting like everyday items that you can find in 20 other places. Okay, yeah, I love mom and pop places too. Those are the best places to go. My girlfriend's parents actually used to own a pizzeria, which I think is awesome. I wish I knew her back then. Free pizza, that's great. Hey, Neo's back. It's weird that Periscope doesn't tell you when people leave your broadcast, but only when they return. So, to me, it looks like Neo has joined like 3 times already. It's odd. And I don't know, like when they left. Have you ever seen Sword in the Stone? Favorite Disney movie? No, I've never seen it. I know it is. I think it's about Excalibur, the Sword in the Stone, but never seen it. I'm not really a big animated movie guy anymore. When I was a kid, I used to be, because they were cartoons and everything. But I don't know. Had text messages to answer. Well, this is more important right now, bro. Or if Periscope would if they would put out an update where Periscope supported multitasking, so you could leave this and then go do whatever. I maybe if you're out of the app for 5 minutes, then it kicks you out of the broadcast or whatever. But it should definitely be multitasking supported, or if that even makes sense. Because as it is now, if you leave the stream for 1 second, boom, it kicks you out. I think that's stupid. It should definitely be updated to support multitasking. All right, so coming up on almost 45 minutes. Some messages are important, but don't answer them. Yeah, no, I don't answer any of them. When I'm streaming, I try not to. What do you think about the state of Texas? I love Texas. Texas holds memories for me about my favorite wrestling weekend that I was ever involved in. So, I love Texas. My laptop. Oh God, now it's doing fine. If you heard, I guess it was episode 11 maybe, where I talked about the laptop and trying to put Windows 10 on it. If you heard that episode, Anthony, it's a lot better now. I popped in an SSD drive out of my, took it out of my PC, formatted it, put it in there. It's all good. So, I don't really do much with it. I'm going to start taking it to the Ace Arena with me on Wednesday nights, hopefully along with this microphone and, recording stuff there. Gotta love the pink laptop. Well, yeah. Well, it was given to me by my girlfriend's sister, so it's pink. But I covered it in stickers. You can still see the pink through it, but come to Lockhart, Texas. Try one of 4 barbecue places. Rachel, you know what I want to try? The place that was around the corner from where the convention was. Was it called Rudy's? If you make if you make the right out of that parking lot where we were at, you go all the way down to the traffic light over the tracks, and then you make a left at that light. It's like right there on the right hand side. It was I think it was in Katy, I guess. Ever been to Florida? I spent every summer until I was 15 in Florida, beginning when I was 6 weeks old. So yes, I've always wanted to live in Florida. I've always wanted to live in Orlando. I love Orlando a lot. I can't, I'm probably never going to live there, but I would love to at some point. But yeah. What did she say? I'm sorry, I missed, what Alicia said. Something about what city. I'm not sure if you meant what city in Texas that I was at or what city in Florida. But yeah, I love Orlando. I've been there a ton of times. Actually, I was there. We had I don't want to call it a wrestling trip, but me and a bunch of people from wrestling went to Orlando at the end of 2008. We spent a whole week in a timeshare. It was one of the greatest times of my life. Todd Grisham for WWE was at Ale House, Miller's Ale House, that Tuesday night that me and my buddies were there. He bought me a bucket of Coronas. Just really an awesome time. Which city in Texas? The convention that I did in 2012, I think it was in Katy, Texas, which is like a suburb of Houston. I spent a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday there. We did a convention called Bustin' for Autism. We did autographs and we did a big convention and pictures and blah, blah. So it was myself, Gene Snitsky, Honky Tonk Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Rikishi, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We're the ones that actually did the convention, but when we went out to eat, we were joined by Shelton Benjamin, who lives in Houston. So it was an awesome weekend. One of my, if not my favorite wrestling weekend of all time that I was involved in. I'm familiar. Oh, you're familiar with Katie? Yeah, I think, and I don't know if Rachel's still in the chat, but I think the name of that restaurant was Rudy's. If you go out of where we were located, which I think was like a VFW hall. You make the right, you go all the way down over the railroad tracks. There's a light right there. It was 2013. Oh, it was? I thought it was 2012. But yeah, you make the right, you go all the way down over the railroad tracks, make the left, and then Rudy's right there. I think it was called Rudy's Barbecue or something like that. I also wanted to go to an In-N-Out Burger, which I didn't get a chance to do, but that was the first time I was in the city that had that. Why do I not have an autographed Joey shirt and autographed bro? Because you haven't ordered one, I guess. I couldn't tell you. ProWrestlingTees.com/JoeyImage. As far as an autograph, if I have pictures left, bro, just shoot me an address and I'll send you one. I don't charge for those. I don't care. Five Guys is not bad. You should go to Clearwater. I spent the first 15 years of my life, again, in Florida, in Clearwater, at the Kendall Motel. I don't remember what street it was on, but Clearwater is my parents' favorite town, so I spent a lot of time there. I don't know if it was Fisherman's Wharf or Hungry Fisherman was the name of the restaurant there, but I love that place. And Five Guys is good. There used to be one by my old apartment. I was only there a couple times. Grew up there. Oh, really? I love Clearwater. That's what I wanted. Plug those shirts. Well, hey, if I plug them, you better buy one, bro. You've been following me on Twitter. We've been following each other on Twitter for, God, 5 or 6 years now, I think. It's insane to me. Like, when I think about how long I've known certain people, but yet never knew them. Like, I've never met Neo in person, but we've been following each other on Twitter and talking to each other on Twitter for like 5 or 6 years. It's insane to me how that's possible. Like, there's so many people that are like that, that I've been following for 4,000 years, but yet still have never met, but we still talk, almost on a daily basis. I'm on Twitter every day, just about, almost talking on a daily basis. It's insane. It's very, very cool. When I first started my t-shirt store, the one previous to Pro Wrestling Tees, the first day I sold 8, and I found out that 6 of them were sold to people in Sweden, which is insane to me. And they hadn't heard of me other than Twitter, and they'd never seen me work. They just bought it to support, which is awesome. A few beers on my list. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, Anthony. I forgot I was supposed to send you my address to send that to you and Steve from yesterday, but I forgot all about it. But I'll do that today. My back is. I wish I could say it was good. It's the last couple weeks. It's been bad. I'll give you an example. I can't bend over to put underwear on or whatever. I have to I can pull up my right side, but then I have to drop my pants to the floor and then step into it and then pull it up. I don't know. It's really I can't. I understand that I'm like this now because of my injury. Specifically my back injury and my back surgery, but I can't. I know freak accidents kind of happen, but it just fucking baffles me the fact that I'm not a hardcore wrestler. I never did that. I'm not a blood and deathmatch guy, and that this still happened, and I still got this injured. People don't, people other than my immediate family and my girlfriend, other than them, don't realize the severity of this. People tell me hey, you just get checked out again, and maybe you're good enough to get back in the ring. No. People ask me a lot. You ever want to get back in the ring? Blah, blah. Of course I want to get back in the ring. I didn't want to leave it to begin with. But I'm so close to paralysis. It's I never got neck surgery. I had 3 epidural blocks, which is injections. If you've ever seen the big thick Sharpies, they're thick Sharpies. I don't know why they're so thick. I guess they just last longer. But if you put maybe 2 or 3 of these lengthwise, that's how big the needle is, and it's probably about double the thickness of one of these. That's what they do epidural injections with. I've had 5 of them in my lifetime, I think. 5 or 6. Actually, no, you know what? That's not true. I had 3 in my left knee also. So 3, 6. All right, so I've had 7. I had 1 in my spine, 3 in my neck, and 3 in my left knee. The left knee was once a month for 3 months, and then I had the surgery, and now I'm fine on my left side, at least my left knee. And then I had the 3 in my neck, which was supposed to, what it does is it doesn't fix the injury, of course, but radio frequency treatment? I don't even know what that is. I don't really listen to regular radio, so that was a joke. Going to see Star Wars opening weekend. I would like to. Yeah, I'm planning on it. But anyway, the epidural blocks, what they do is they don't actually fix the injury, of course, but they dull the nerve enough where you don't feel the pain. So, I had 3 of those on my neck once a month for 3 months in a row in 2014, was it? Yeah, 2014. February, March, and April. So, I haven't actually felt the pain in my neck since then. Once in a while, I feel like a little something, like, oh, that hurts, or, whatever. Once in a while I feel something, but it's not anything that's, first of all, it's not every day. It's not constant. So it's not really that terrible. It's not anything I can't deal with. But, I also had one in my back. And again, it doesn't fix the injury. It just kills or dulls the nerves so you don't feel the pain. But the thing that I did with my back is I only got one because when they scheduled it, it was only a week before. Oh, you know what? I got 8 because I got one on my left hip also. I have a torn labrum tissue in my left hip. But it was a week before my back surgery. So they said, you know what? This will kill the pain for the week, and then you'll be good. And if it doesn't work, then the surgery's in a week anyway. So that's what I did. So I had the spinal surgery. I never had my neck surgery. The problem is there's 3 pinched nerves in my neck. The one or two of them are pressing against my spinal cord in the back of my neck. I never got the surgery. I don't know why. Basically they couldn't do them both so close together because they were doing my back surgery. So they didn't want me to be in a wheelchair for, extended amount of time or whatever. So my spinal surgery I had done, and then I was going to do the neck a few months later. Basically my shitty excuse is I just never got around to doing the neck. And because I don't feel it that much, I don't think about it ever because of the epidural blocks. So I never really think about it. But, it's tough. It's if you watch Terry Funk in Beyond the Mat, I feel like that when he gets out of bed and he has to get up and sit up first for a couple minutes. I need to get back into DDP yoga because the stretching will help me immensely. I know it has in the past. But I'm just lazy. But yeah, so lately my back has been not feeling so great. Oh man, all right. I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more of these, and then I'm gonna take off because it's almost 55 minutes. How do you deal with long car rides? Long car rides don't bother me. It's laying down bothers me a lot because I also have sciatica in my left leg, and one of the discs in my spine is pressing against my sciatic nerve, which makes my left leg go numb at random times. And I've always had problems with my left knee also, to the point where my knee goes out whenever it feels like it. So sometimes I'll just be walking as normal and I'll just fall over, or I'll not fall over like fall on my ass, but I'll tip over, or I'll stumble. That's a good word for it. And it looks like I tripped on something and I haven't. It's just because my knee gave out. It's never bad. I've never actually fallen down from it, but yeah. I'll give you another example. My girlfriend comes over to my house, or I go to her house, and we lay in bed and watch TV. After a little while, I can't lay with my left leg out on the bed. I have to get up and move, or I have to get up and stretch it or something like that. And it's like 20-30 minutes. I have to move it around because it just kills. If I let it sit in pain, I'll be in tears, and then it eventually goes numb. But I mean, that's not good either. So my back is not the greatest. It's the nature of the industry. I mean, it's the nature of the injury, which is the nature of the industry. It happens. All right, I'm going to do, take one last question because, again, now I'm at 55 minutes and I still have to edit this and put the audio in and music and all that stuff. I don't like it to be too long. I like to do maybe 20, 30-minute chunks of audio here of each episode. But because I'm doing a special Q&A thing, I'm okay with doing an hour. So I'm going to take maybe one more question, and then I'm going to skedaddle and take off. And then this will be released later today, which won't be long at all. Worst sporting event I've ever been to? I don't think I've ever been to a bad sporting event. I mean, I've been to football games. I've been to arena football. I've been to NFL. I've been to, million wrestling shows, a ton of baseball games. I don't think I've ever been to a bad sporting event. Now I'll take one more question. Worst bump I've ever taken? McAdoo, Pennsylvania, 2004, I think it was. It was myself and, oh my God, Dave New Wave. I forgot all about Dave. I think we wrestled the Hardcore Mafia, Bruno DeMaio and Joey Davino. I think we wrestled them. I don't even remember. But I know we were managed by Brian Beaker. And there was one spot where I was on the apron. I took a hit, bumped off the apron to the floor. And for some reason, I don't know if I didn't remember, or I didn't look, or I didn't know at all, but there were no mats on the floor. It was in a, actually, Irish Gal, hold that question. I'll get to that in a minute once I'm done with this one, then you'll be the last question. It was in a firehouse, so it's a solid concrete floor. And I bumped from the apron to my back, to the floor or whatever, and hit my head. And I was out, not out like unconscious, but I was out like loopy for like 30 seconds. And I remember grabbing Brian Beaker, our manager, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I just saw your leg and grabbed it. Like, I don't know what's up. And he was like, dude, are you all right? And I'm like, no, man. Like, give me a little while, and then, whatever, 30 seconds, a minute later, I was okay again. I got back in the ring, and we did the match. But that's probably my second worst bump ever. My first worst bump is a very long story that I don't really have time to tell now. It involves myself and a mystery ladder match that I don't even remember happening. But if you go to my blog, joeyimage.wordpress.com, you'll find the entire story written out of the ladder match. And then Irish Gal asked, I don't even remember it now. I know it was something about who I wanted to wrestle. So if you can put that back in the Periscope chat, I will answer that. That'll be my last one. And then I want to thank everyone in Periscope for viewing this. We only got 9 people now. We had like 13 or 14 people before. But I want to thank everyone for coming in here and asking me stuff. Which is one wrestler? Scott. See, that's one wrestler I've always wanted to wrestle and never got to. Mick Foley. Specifically as Cactus Jack. I was such a Cactus Jack fan growing up. There's a lot of people that have told me I look like Mick Foley. One of those people was Mick Foley. So I always thought it'd be awesome to work him, to wrestle him, especially as Cactus Jack. Like I said, Cactus Jack was one of my favorites growing up. I was never into the deathmatch or hardcore stuff except for his stuff. Like, I love watching his stuff. And when I took chair shots, I would always think of him, and I've never ever once put my hand up for a chair shot. That didn't do my neck any good, but I just think it looks stupid. Like, I'm not trying to hit you in the palms, I'm trying to hit you in the head. Or I should say when I get hit. My opponent's not hitting me in the palms of my hands or in my fingertips. He wants to hit me in the head, so I'm going to let him do that. I understand some people are going to call me an idiot. Whatever, let them. But yeah, Cactus Jack is one of the guys I've always wanted to wrestle. I've never gotten a chance to. As far as famous guys, I mean, as far as guys in the independents, I'd love to work like Tommaso Ciampa. I'd love to work. I wrestled Sean Carr. I'd like to wrestle him again. By the way, congratulations to Sean Carr on winning the 2CW heavyweight title last night. I cannot express in words how over the moon excited I am about that. That is one of the, if not the top company on the East Coast right now, and he is their top guy right now, and he just fucking deserves that beyond belief. He deserves it. But anyway, again, I want to thank everyone at Periscope for hanging out with me. I may stream some more later. Not record another podcast. I have another podcast tonight to do. I have to do Grumpy Cast tonight. But I may just do another Periscope stream later. I don't know. But follow me on here on Periscope if you haven't already, please. And everyone listening, please follow me on Twitter at JoeyImage. Hit me up on Facebook at facebook.com/RealJoeyImage. I want to thank you all for listening, downloading, subscribing. This has been episode 12. And I will see you again on my episode 13 coming up, which will likely be later this week. Thanks again for listening. See ya.